There we go, fuzzing in again. Hello, everybody. Mike Culver here with EHP. I want to welcome you all. Looks like we've got a bunch of people logging on and joining us. We're a couple minutes behind schedule here. I was getting a debrief here on some information and some hot topics to update you guys with and to cover and give you guys a comprehensive understanding and of our program and the opportunity that you all have before you here. It's so fun to see so many familiar faces logging onto these calls as well. I want to encourage all of you to continue to stay plugged in. If you're relatively new to EHP and this opportunity, make sure you keep doing your due diligence, logging onto these calls, doing your research, learning about the program, and coming up with questions in your head, and then figuring out those answers as well. Hopefully, this will. These Zoom calls will be able to address a lot of the questions that you guys have. But ultimately, the best way to learn is to sit yourself in a chair from the standpoint of a teacher and teach yourself. You'll be able to really get it from your head to your heart, the information and the value proposition that EHP has here. So I just want to welcome you guys all in, and it looks like we've got just a whole bunch of you logging on here, and we're going to dive right in. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I've been with EHP for a little over a year as a referral partner. And then in June, I joined the corporate side on the discovery call team. And so my job, my 9-to-5 job, is to be the guy that shares a little bit of an overview about EHP and the SIMERP program with your prospective business clients. And it's just been going fantastically well. I want to give a shout out to you guys that are actively booking discovery calls. We're getting some real high quality candidates and prospects through the pipeline here. And just this morning alone, I think I got 3 censuses submitted from some of you guys, your clients submitting 3 different censuses. And that's the big push. The ultimate goal of a discovery call is to get the business owner or the prospect to commit to uploading a census, an employee census. So what I'd like to do is kind of cover a little bit of divide up a little bit of our responsibilities here. What is your responsibility and what is our responsibility? Because we're working together. But we want to make sure that we're covering our areas of expertise and offering and putting our best foot forward with our prospects. Ultimately, guys, the goal for you in this process is to qualify a prospect. And that happens through a conversation. You're going to have conversations with your prospects. It's a little bit different if you're dealing with warm market versus cold market. But warm market is ideally the best resource to tap into for you. When you tap into a warm market, you're able to have a conversation, and our goal is to have a conversation with the decision makers, the people who are the highest up the chain that we can get with an organization. Typically owners, presidents, CEOs, and CFOs. Those are the ideal candidates for us. When we talk with those types of people, they are the decision makers. This program is a benefits add-on. It's an additional benefits to the employees. So a lot of times by default, people think this is an HR type of a conversation. And guys, the benefits are secondary, quite frankly, to the financial windfall that businesses have. If you're booking discovery calls with the head of HR, we'll deal with that. We'll work with them. But they are not the decision makers. They are the message takers. And they're gonna take that message to the decision maker through their filter. And their filter might be, they don't care that we're gonna save $640 per employee per year in taxes. They may care, but they may not. Their filter might be, this is a lot of extra work. We already have a telemedicine program. Why do we need EHP? We already have benefits offered to our employees. Why do we need to bundle Revive and EHP onto this as well? So just understand that those are some of the obstacles that we deal with. Almost every call I do with an HR, head of HR, results in them saying, I have to run this by somebody else. And so if we can just bypass HR and go to the top with the CFOs and the CEOs and get them on the call, you're saving yourself a step. And every step is treacherous, guys. There's always a reason for someone to not do this in their own mind if they're not the decision maker. So I just want to encourage you guys to really try to find out and qualify who that decision maker is. Then you also want to qualify how many employees do they have? How many full-time employees do they have? We need to start this off with 25 or more full-time employees. So please don't book a discovery call with a client that only has 10 full-time employees. You need to do some due diligence and some research there. They're not a qualified prospect. We're going to have to turn them down at the discovery call level or at the proposal level if they've only got 10 or 12 full-time employees. So 25 full-time W-2'd employees. That's the key here. Make sure that you keep that in your mind when you're having a conversation with a prospect. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the pitch? And what I want to do is encourage all of you to sit down and put your brain to work and figure out what is your pitch. What is the pitch? What is the elevator pitch to a business owner? You do not have to become experts with EHP. That's our job. We'll do the answering of all those detailed questions. You don't want to get in the weeds with a prospect. All you want to do is focus on the core benefits. The core benefits, and I call them the R's. The letter R's. If you are looking for a way to recruit high quality talent, retain the high quality talent that you have now, reward your employees with additional medical, health, and wellness benefits on top of the benefits you're already providing them, and also reward your employees with a small increase in take-home pay, and have a reduce your overhead costs, your FICA tax obligations. That's going to generate revenues, additional revenues, without having to increase sales to your bottom line. All of those R's: recruit, retain, reward, reduce overhead, and revenues, increase revenues. If you can focus on those key benefits, would you be opposed to learning about a program that could do that? We've got a team of discovery call experts that can talk to you and answer all of the questions and give you a high-level overview of the program. But if you focus on the R's, recruitment, retention, rewarding employees with additional benefits, rewarding your employees with additional benefits and a slight increase in their take-home pay, and reducing your operating costs by reducing your FICA obligations, that's going to have a dramatic impact to the tune of $640 per employee per year in FICA match obligations. Would you be opposed to learning more about a program that could do that for your company? Now, before you get to that sales pitch line, that elevator pitch, you want to have a conversation first and see if you can identify some of the pain. Because if an employer is struggling with medical expenses, the increase in premiums, and having to cut or increase the employee participation amount, the amount the employees have to participate with, if they're struggling, identify those pain points. And my guess is that one of those R's is going to cover one of the main pain points that you can identify with the prospect. Joe, thanks so much for sharing that with me. If we could introduce you to a program that helps you retain employees, it keeps them from turning over, because we know it's costly to continue to retrain new employees. If we could introduce you to a program that helps you retain quality employees by offering additional medical, health, and wellness benefits at no net out-of-pocket cost to your team, would that be something you'd be opposed to learning more about? And again, I always use that reversal psychology, the oppose. I think for those of you that have seen me on these calls before, you're probably getting sick of this mug on the screen. But if you've heard me talk about it, I love to frame things where the no means yes. The goal is to get them to say no when that no means a yes. Would you be opposed? Would it be crazy to invest 30 minutes of your time to learn about a program? No, it wouldn't be crazy. Great. Then we give them the alternative close. I've got their call calendar up front here right now. What works better for you, mornings or afternoons, Tuesday or Thursday? The goal is to pin them down. And then who else, Joe, would be involved in the decision-making process? Is there anyone else that we can invite on this call so that they can hear directly from the horse's mouth and get all of the information directly covered in a roundtable discussion? Oh, you'd like to bring Susie in? What is Susie's role? Oh, she's the head of HR? Okay, make a note of that. What about CEOs, CFOs, anyone else involved in that type of situation? Who can we bring on board as well for that? So those are the types of conversations that you guys want to have with the prospects, so that you can make sure that when we get on the call, we know exactly what the pain points are and what points to hit. I'm going to cover all the R's, but if I'm blanketly covering the R's, I don't know which one's going to necessarily resonate the best with the prospect. And you have the opportunity to kind of help set us up that way. So as I like to say, it's a lot easier to hit a golf ball off the tee in the tee box than it is in the rough. So if we can set that golf ball or that prospect up on a tee, we're going to be able to hit that ball farther and straighter, and that's the goal. We want it to go right down the fairway towards the goal, which is the pin and the hole there. So that's kind of the point of these calls here, guys. Boy, we've had a lot of people join here and log on. A lot of people have questions from a discovery call standpoint. I'd like to talk a little bit about the discovery call process. I break the discovery call into 3 or 4 chapters, typically just a quick introduction. I talk about the fact that the Americans are going to spend $4.9 trillion in 2025 in medical bills. And then I talk about the fact that federal, state, and local governments here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I pulled this up, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and make sure that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So let's go to share, and let's share that mug there, and we'll pull this up. $4.9 trillion in medical expenditures, and federal, state, and local governments are on the hook for 33% of that. 33%. Oh, it's going to be $2 trillion. So they're looking for ways to redirect healthcare costs. And that is what our program is. It's a SIMERP, a self-insured medical expense reimbursement program. If you don't know the acronym here, learn it. Self-insured medical expense reimbursement program, SIMERP. SIMERPs were created in the early 2000s, but it was during the Affordable Care Act when they kind of expanded the scope and reach to include wellness and preventative care. And our program integrates a 105 cafeteria plan as well. So it's a little bit more in depth. We cover a lot of medical health and wellness under Section 213D. So you can see here Section 213D with these codes. But we have a lot of wellness codes as well, pre-tax and post-tax codes that we utilize. We'll cover that as the introduction, and then we'll dive into the qualifications. Employees need to be W-2'd. They have to have health insurance in place. It doesn't have to be provided by their employer, though. So a lot of employers think that, I've got 100 employees, but only 30 of them are participating in our health insurance plan. That doesn't matter. If the other 70 have health insurance through their spouse or a parent or on their own, they're eligible to participate and can participate in this program as well. So keep that in mind. Don't let that be a discouraging factor. In the rare case, guys, that an employee has no health insurance, we can provide what's called a MEC plan, a minimum essential coverage plan for the employer to provide to the employee. And the tax savings that the employee is going to realize from this program will cover oftentimes the cost of that MEC plan. So not only will they get a insurance, which they're supposed to have anyway, but they'll also have the Revive benefits as well. So it benefits them tremendously that way. Okay, took a drink, wetted my whistle. The last thing here is financially qualified. 30 hours or more a week of full-time. That's what we consider full-time. Guys, this is more income-driven than it is hours-driven. What we find is $28,000 to $30,000 a year. Most employees are going to qualify for the program. But what we find is that at 30 hours or more a week, most people are making that kind of income. So it just simplifies it on the process. But it is a financially driven qualification. Then I segue into Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the value of Revive. The fact that Revive is a virtual medical health and wellness platform. It provides urgent care, primary care, mental health therapy, weight health, and free medications. So those are the benefits. And honestly, guys, Revive is there may be some overlap that Revive has with current benefits package, but it is designed to sit on top of a benefits package, primary insurance, and it's designed to alleviate the 3 biggest obstacles that people have when they're dealing with healthcare, an employee or a member standpoint, which is time. A lot of times they're like, my primary care physician here in town is booked out a month. Revive 1 to 3 days with a primary care physician consult. Money, If I engage with my primary insurance, I have to pay a $50 copay to see my primary care physician. If I book with Revive, I don't have to pay a copay. There's no copays. And accessibility, I have to take an afternoon off work and drive over to the clinic to go see my primary care physician. Whereas with Revive, I can do it virtually online in 1 to 3 days. Time, money, accessibility. Those are the three biggest obstacles people have when they're dealing with healthcare. And Revive is designed to alleviate those three. So that's the benefit of the Revive platform here. Urgent care, 24/7, unlimited access, free medications, no copays. The free medications through Revive saves my house $62 a month in copays. $62 on my medical savings account card, my pre-tax savings card that we use for our family. $62 a month was going towards copays on medicine. Now I get to apply that towards braces and glasses for my 4 children. So it saves money for the employees as well. And then mental health therapy, great resource for personal development, personal growth. Weight health, I just did a call with the city this morning, guys, in Georgia. We had a fantastic call, and they flipped out. They have what's called a self-funded insurance. Now, I'm going to talk again about this really quick. And for those of you that some of this is redundant, but a lot of you new people, this is really important. There's really kind of 3 types of insurance that employers provide for their employees. One is called fully funded. That's what we think in our mind. Traditional insurance where an employee pays a part of the premium, the employer matches it. There's a copay and a deductible, and anything over the copay and deductible for the employee, the insurance company writes the check and covers the cost. That's usually for businesses that are under 100 employee headcount. Most of them have that typical, and they're experiencing 10 to 30% increases in premiums this year. They're getting slaughtered. Insurance across the board is going up, but that's called fully funded. The next stage is what's called a level funded. And this is when we get to about 100 employees or more. Businesses oftentimes start to migrate into a level or self-funded program. A level funded is the employer pays out of pocket the difference over and above a copay and a deductible for the employee to a cap. And then once that cap is met, the insurance company pays the difference and over and above that. That's called level funded. The third one is fully self-funded. Self-funded is when an employer has enough employees that their premiums that they're paying and contributing to kind of offset 1 or 2 really sick people, and if they get cancer or something like that. So the employer, it's financially makes sense for them to just be their own insurance company, self-funded. And they'll write a check basically over and above a copay and a deductible for all of their employees. They are self-funded. Now, with this call that I had earlier this morning, the city, they were looking at dropping the weight health medications because they were getting crushed at $700 for Wegovy, $1,100 for Ozempic. They're getting crushed, and they were looking at dropping those types of medications off of the insurance. They get to decide what they want to cover and what they don't want to cover on a self-funded plan. When they saw the prices here, a semi-glutide like Wegovy here, the generic version of Wegovy, $90 to $210 for a 3-month supply versus $1,100 a month through insurance. They got excited about that, and they're like, yes, we're uploading our census. Let's move forward. 500 employees for that city. So it's a substantially huge amount of money to save. One of the things that we talk about, especially when we're dealing with self and level funded employer groups, is the redirection of care. Revive, the membership of Revive that covers those 5 pillars, the 5 pillars of Revive, which is primary care, urgent care, free medication, mental health therapy, and a weight loss program. Those are the 5 pillars of Revive. When we're talking to especially level and self-funded employer groups, we're going to talk about the redirection of care. Every time someone interacts with Revive, it asks them, hey, what would you have done had you not used Revive? And I always show on the discovery call this slide. 56% of people surveyed from this employer said they would have gone to a primary care physician. 5% said they would have gone to see a specialist. 3% said they would have gone to the emergency room. 23% would have gone to urgent care. Is urgent care cheaper than just booking an appointment with your primary care, or is it more expensive? 13% said no treatment. For level and self-funded, every one of these is a dollar sign that we could redirect. If the care starts and stops with Revive, that means the employee or their family, their members, did not engage in that health insurance program. That saves the employer considerable amount of medical expenditures. What we find is that self and level funded employers are saving 10 to 30% off of the top on their medical expenses for their employee group. 10 to 30%. Now, we talk a lot about the $640 in FICA savings. The average employer spends $13,000 per year per employee on healthcare. If we can save them 10% of that, that's $1,300 per employee. Then we add the $640 in tax savings onto that. We're talking about phenomenal financial windfalls. This is a financial play, guys, for many of our clients, more so than it is for HR. I just want to stress that again and emphasize that again. So here's the thing I'm really proud of, the 13% no treatment. That would have been me. I'm stubborn. I usually try to sleep all my ailments off. 13% of people said they would have ignored a symptom, they would have stayed sick and ridden the storm out, then sought out healthcare. But because they had Revive, they engaged. This is a tool for a happier, healthier, more productive workforce, guys. It's a phenomenal tool. And every time a member engages with Revive, a medical CPT billing code is assigned. And Revive tracks all of that for reporting for the employer. And we can show hard data, how much of the usages of Revive impacted their bottom line. It's a phenomenal tool and resource there, guys, for the benefit side of Revive. So I always cover that typically in the beginning, and then we segue into the financial savings for the employer. The financial savings, again, is a $1,220 SIMERP tax deduction. The employee is the self-insured medical expense reimbursement program. So I don't want you to get confused. A self-insured medical plan is one thing, but our SIMERP program, the employee is the under self-insured. Here's what's going to happen. They opt in to the Revive membership. It's a membership, no copays, no deductibles. It's a monthly membership, all inclusive for the family, spouse and up to 5 kids. The cost of Revive is $149 a month. The employee pays that on a post-tax basis, not pre-tax. This is why a lot of outdated information about SIMERP programs that are negative are out there. People were trying to utilize pre-tax deductions and then pre-tax the benefits. That's double dipping. That's where all of the negative outdated articles on Google are coming from. Double dipping with fixed indemnity products. Our program, any benefits that we add are going to be post-tax on the paycheck because the SIMERP tax deduction is the only pre-tax deduction. So we get to deduct the actuarial value of the program, the appraised value of Revive. How do we come up with that? I don't know exactly how they come up with it, but basically, guys, what they do is Revive takes a look at the number of members they have. They add up all of the a la carte medical CPT billing expenses that it would have cost had we billed insurance through traditional treatment methods. They divide that by the number of encounters and the number of members, and then they multiply that by a fraction, let's say 75% of the cost, and it comes out to a monthly value of $1,220. Now, that's the appraised actuarial value of Revive had all of the services been spread out and paid for a la carte. Kind of like when you go to the hospital with a broken arm, it's 2 different prices if you're using insurance or paying cash. We all know this. And the government approves what the insurance is able to bill for the cost of care. So a lot of people are questioning, why can we do $1,220 deduction here when the cost of Revive is only $149? And the answer is because Revive has over 4 million members paying that offsets the costs, but the actual average cost of the service is greater than what Revive is able to bake into their business model because of their membership business model. So 149 post-tax withholding for the employee, that triggers a $1,220 pre-tax Section 125 deduction. Section 125 is health insurance, medical savings accounts, flexible spending accounts, and our SIMERP program. It meets the qualifications for a Section 125 deduction. That changes the taxable income to the employee from $3,200 down to $2,000 a month in this example at $44,000 a year. The net effect of that, guys, the net effect of that is that across the board, the employee's payroll obligations to Uncle Sam go down. Federal goes down, state goes down, Social Security goes down, Medicare goes down. The $823 bill that the employee is used to paying Uncle Sam just went down to $513 in this example. That frees up $309 of the hard-earned income that that employee works for. That 309 is greater than, in savings, is greater than the 149 cost of Revive. In fact, here's what happens. In order for the employee's paycheck to go up, two things happen. Number one, the SIMERP, self-insured, 149, medical expense reimbursement, Section 125, reimbursement. We put in the deduction here, lower the taxable income, calculate the payroll taxes, then we reimburse post-tax the $1,220. That's the structure of a SIMERP program. That's how it was designed. That's how it was structured. SIMERP was designed to reimburse. So we deduct, reimburse. Then we calculate their take-home pay. Well, in this example, 309 covers the 149, and it leaves $160 left over. We're just going to add that $160 overage. It stays on the, we're not going to add it. It's just going to stay. We're not going to take it away. It's going to stay on the employee's paycheck instead of being taken away from Uncle Sam. So their $28.82 that they used to do, even after we incorporate that $149 cost to Revive, generates enough savings so that their $28.82 in take-home pay goes up to $3,042. It's a way for employers to give their employees an increase or a bump in their take-home pay. And the employee reaps all of the benefit of that. Now, from an employer standpoint, guys, there's no loopholes. There's no magic. There's no foo-foo dust here. Anytime someone engages with a Section 125 pre-tax benefit, it changes what the employee is going to pay in Social Security and Medicare. For those of you that don't know this, employers have to match dollar for dollar, penny for penny, what employees pay in Social Security and Medicare. That's baked into their costs. So if an employee's Social Security and Medicare go down $93.33 a month, the employer's FICA obligation match goes down $93.33 a month. That's the beauty of this program. It just is at $1,220 times 7. In Social Security and Medicare, guys, are flat taxes, 7.65 total. So it's $93 every time for every employee. Now, EHP bakes in the $40 admin fee. That's what pays us, guys, and keeps the lights on. So the employer is going to net $53.33 per employee per month. So when we talked about the city, the call of the city I did earlier this morning, with 500 employees, was 480 employees. 480 times 53.33, we're looking at $25,000 a month in FICA savings. Times 12 months. $307,000 to their budget, straight to their bottom line. For those of you that aren't familiar with businesses or have never owned a business in the past, oftentimes it takes, now this is a taxpayer organization, the city, so it's just taxpayer money. But on a private entity, guys, it often takes $2, $3, $4, $5 to generate a $1 in sales, in gross revenues, to generate $1 in net profit. So when we can have an impact straight to the bottom line here, that is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now let's take a look at let's take a look at the venue redirection on that. 480 employees times $13,000 per year per employee in average medical expenditures. That's a $6 million medical bill that the city is paying for. If we can save them just 10% of that, that's another $624,000 in medical redirection savings through Revive Health. We just put together a $1 million deal today on that call. $1 million to 500 employees. Guys, that's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I just want to make sure that you understand how that process works, how the math works, and what we go. So once we go through the financial side of things, then we segue into the onboarding and getting the proposal call. That's the goal. We need to upload a census. We don't have a deal until we get a census uploaded. So my job on the discovery call is to get the people on the call to make a little decision. Yes, we'll upload our census so that the team on the census team can put together and crunch the numbers and figure out how much we're going to save each employee each month. We're going to come up with a gross number of savings, tax savings for the employees. Then we're going to subtract the 149. We're going to come up with a net savings for each employee. This is how much the employee's monthly take-home pay goes up. Then we're going to do $93 in FICA savings for the business owner, times 12 months, minus $40 a month or $480 a year. And we're going to come up with $639.96 per employee per year in FICA reductions, in FICA savings, a reduction in FICA obligations there. So the goal is to get to the proposal call, discovery call, get them to say, yes, we'll upload our census. Our team crunches the numbers, and then they'll reach out to the decision makers and include you to schedule a proposal call to go over these numbers and come up with that bottom line savings number. Then we move into program launch and onboarding. And that's where we integrate with their payroll. Very simple. And then our enrollment team will host a webinar. And this is what we ask of our employers. Hey, we need a coach and a cheerleader and a coordinator. If you're willing to coordinate the team, we'll host a webinar. We'll record it for future hires. If it's a large entity or organization, we'll send a live onboarding team out to meet. But if it's a smaller organization, we'll do it over the web. But then our goal is to schedule a one-on-one consult with each employee after that webinar. If the employer can promote that, where we can meet with them one-on-one and answer their questions and show them a before and after picture of their paycheck, when we do that, we'll onboard them, download the Revive app, onboard their spouse, onboard their children. When we do it that way, guys, we get a super high participation rate. 80, 90% participation rate. That's where the success comes in. And every employee that participates results in additional PEPM for you. So we want to make sure we set them up on the tee, in the tee box, set the expectations properly, and walk them through this proper procedure. And then we simply become part of their, honestly, guys, once EHP is implemented into a business, it's just part of their benefits package that they're now providing their employees. And it gives them a competitive edge over their competition. More benefits, increase in take-home pay. These are all things that the employees are going to be made aware of when we onboard them. So it's a phenomenal tool that way, guys. I just want to make sure that everybody understands the process of a discovery call and the importance of it. So that's what we do on the discovery call. That is not your job to explain all of these details in great depth. Your job is to promote the call and the callers, the host of the discovery call. Your job is to build curiosity. Curiosity motivates. When you chase a puppy, it runs away. When you walk in the other direction with a treat in your hand, it's going to follow you. It may test its boundaries a little bit, but it's going to follow you. So you want to build curiosity, even if you know the answers to all of these questions in depth. That's a great question, Joe. I'm glad you asked it. And Mike is going to cover that on the discovery call. What works better, Tuesday or Thursday? I've got his calendar up here right now. We've got morning and afternoon available. Which would work better for you and your team? Joe, how many of these other decision makers can we get on the call? Who are they? Let's coordinate this and get it done. Let's get as much upfront work done as possible and set them up properly. So you guys want to just get really good at focusing. And you know, Joe, that's a great question. I'm not exactly sure about the benefit. All I know is that Mike talked about a city like yours or a business like yours with 500 employees, and it was looking at saving them about $1 million. They have a self-funded insurance plan too. Do you have self-funded or level funded? Make a note of it. Great. Mike just talked about a business that he met with earlier this morning that was looking at about $1 million in savings to their bottom line with the same amount of employees as you have. If we could save you $1 million to your company as well, Joe, would you be opposed to spending 30 minutes, investing 30 minutes to learn about the program? Great. If then are great questions, guys. If we could introduce you to a program that could save your company $1 million a year, would you be opposed to spending 30 minutes to learn more about it? Well, what is it? It's a great program that allows you to recruit and retain, reward your employees with additional medical benefits on top of what you're already providing. You don't have to change anything. And it has a dramatic impact on your revenues. What works better, Friday or Monday? I know I'm simplifying this, guys, and I know that everyone has a perfect plan until they get punched in the face, Mike Tyson. But honestly, it's going to be uncomfortable in the beginning to stay in the ring and be a little bit like that, coy. But you want to build curiosity and you want to edify and promote the discovery call. And by edifying and promoting the discovery call and showing value of the discovery call, that's where people get motivated. So you want to become promoters of the discovery call. And you want to lay that foundation down. And then we'll set the expectations. Hey, the goal of this discovery call is not for you to make a big decision today, just a little one. Is it worthy of taking a deep dive and having us put together a formal proposal? Those are the steps. That's the magic here, guys. So yeah, I know I'm talking in circles a little bit, but I just want to make sure that you understand the process and the flow of how this goes and how you can move about this. Now, guys, when you're talking and prospecting, if you're cold emailing and cold prospecting and pulling on doors, that is a hard nut to crack. This is a warm market, primarily a much easier program to implement with warm market and warm referrals. Get involved. Go to BNIs. Go to the chamber events. Get out. Get seen. Network. When I owned a business, I utilized BNI. I don't know if you guys know what BNI is, but Business Networking International. I'm sure many of you do know what that is. It's a lot of owner operators. Those guys are in the trenches. So a lot of them may not even qualify for our program, but there are some that do. But the nice thing about BNI is that they have their philosophy is that givers gain. The whole purpose of BNI is to pass referrals. That's their whole mission. They track every referral and the amount of business that can be closed. So their whole purpose is to pass referrals, make introductions, and to build relationships. So even if someone isn't a prospect for you, it's not a bad idea to go to BNI and schedule a one-on-one cup of coffee with them, and you learn about their business and they learn about yours. And if you have any referrals you can send them, you do that. And if they have any referrals or warm introductions they can make, you take advantage of that. Givers gain. So build your referral network. Keep building your referral network. You don't know who someone else knows. And if they can make that introduction for you, awesome. The other thing is, a lot of people in BNI, guys, are entrepreneurial. They own their own business, but they're owner operators oftentimes. Many of them. Not all, but many of them. BNI only lets in typically one person from each industry. So you're only going to have one mortgage guy. You're going to have one commercial banker, one residential banker, one real estate agent, one tree trimming service, one restaurant, one massage therapist. So again, think of these people. They're all in BNI to network. So think about this as a referral source. And guys, you can also enroll these people. I know that with Sean and your team, you guys have the ability to build a referral network and bring other people in that pays a couple tiers deep. Leverage your contacts. Would you rather have 100% of your own efforts? Who said that? It's Think and Grow Rich. I can't remember who said it. 1% of 100 people's efforts or 100% of your own? Was it Andrew Carnegie that said that, or Thomas Edison? I can't remember who said it, but Think and Grow Rich. I've read that book so many times I can't believe I don't remember it. But you can leverage these people. And a lot of them are entrepreneurial and are looking for other ways to subsidize their income. A lot of them are startup businesses too. They're hustling. They're having one-on-ones. They're going to chamber events. So think about that, guys. From an opportunity standpoint, you can leverage this. The gig economy is insane. I think 60% of the population is participating at some level in the gig economy now or something like that. There's a statistic that's just crazy. It's crazy. Everyone, you remember all those infomercials back in the day? Carlton Sheets and Don Lepre, tiny classified ads, and Kevin Trudeau and all those guys that have gotten into trouble now. But, that used to be the way people did their side gigs. Now with the internet, we've got Uber and DoorDash and Fiverr and all of these different opportunities, crypto and all these different programs. People are looking for ways to supplement their income. There is no greater opportunity than this. None. So think about that as well, guys, from a recruitment standpoint. You may not have a huge warm market, but you might know someone who does. You can either just ask for a referral and build a relationship, or you can bring them into the mix, into the fold, and offer them some peplum and work as a team. Go out 2 by 2. It's funny, the Bible says go out 2 by 2. I was watching I was watching The Chosen last night. If you haven't seen The Chosen, guys, watch it. If you're Christian, it's amazing. But I was watching The Chosen, and Jesus was talking about going out 2 by 2. Go out 2 by 2. Lean on each other. And then shake every grain of sand out of your sandals when you leave their house. What does that mean? That means you're going to come into negativity, guys. Shake out the negativity. Clean off your feet, because that little grain of sand festering in your shoe can form into a blister and can cause you pain down the road. Shake it off and move on. You can make up in numbers what you lack in skill. You can make up in numbers that what you lack in skill. Jim Rohn, phenomenal motivational speaker. So do the numbers, and you know what? Track it. As you do your numbers, you're going to see your percentages increase. You're going to get better. You're going to make a plan. You're going to do your research. You're going to formulate questions that you can ask to qualify the prospect. You're going to formulate questions that you can ask to put them on the tee properly. We're going to walk through that system. You're going to analyze the results after every call, every pitch, every one-on-one. And you're going to say, what went well? I'm going to do that again. What didn't go so well? What did I forget to do? What should I have done? I should have just built the curiosity for the discovery call. You're going to do all of that, guys. And then you're going to do it again. And you're going to get better, and you're going to get better, and you're going to get better. And that's the whole goal. The whole goal is to get better and to maximize every opportunity that we have. And so we're going to work tandem together. I recap and review every discovery call. Sometimes I have a stinker. I lay an egg. I hope I don't. I don't want to. Sometimes we just don't mesh. Sometimes we hit it out of the park. But we make up in numbers. Consistent effort doesn't yield consistent results, but it does lead to success. So stay consistent. Continue to book numbers. I want to book a discovery call a day. I want to book a discovery call a week. Whatever your plan is there, focus that, figure out your plan, commit to it, and be consistent. I want to go to X number of BNI groups a week or a month. I want to go to at least one chamber event a month. I want to recruit at least 5 people a month. You do that, guys, you hold your financial future in your own hands. I guarantee it. So focus on those types of benefits. What I want to do here is I'm going to open this up and just go through some questions, guys. I know I spent 46 minutes monologuing here. I hope there's value in this conversation for you. But I definitely want to go through some additional questions here and just see if we can answer some of these questions. If anyone has added some additional questions. Okay. Try to pitch this top down from a CEO, CFO standpoint. Yes. How does a self-insured plan work? I think we covered that. Awesome. Do they just put money aside? Yeah, that's how they work. They put money aside and they write the checks for the medical insurance. Now, I have seen smaller businesses get into a self-insured program, a self-funded program, and then an employee and a spouse get cancer, and it darn near wipes the business out because they have to foot the bill for all of that. That's why it's more designed for larger organizations. The bigger the pool, the employee pool, it spreads out the risk amongst many, many people. So if 1 or 2 people do get cancer or have a heart attack, it levels it, it evens it out. I have a prospect, a CEO with about 200 full-time employees, and they are self-insured through some health company. If I understand correctly from yesterday's call, they would not only anticipate savings from the tax savings, they would also anticipate direct savings for any service diverted from their main plan. Yep, we covered that. That's the redirection of healthcare. We can't guarantee the savings there, guys, because we don't know how the employees are going to interact with Revive, but it's a 10 to 30% reduction in redirection. Why EHP? What sets us apart from competition? Guys, there's a lot of companies, not a lot, but there's a handful of companies out there that are doing what we do as well. The leadership at EHP has cracked the code. We've got the codes, the compliance side of things hammered down. The fact that all of our benefits are post-tax and not pre-tax shows that we are following the IRS's opinions in not double dipping with indemnity programs and products. And then honestly, guys, the cap in our feather, aside from the fact that leadership is really hammering out and working out all these systems and we're growing at an incredible pace, a few of the feathers in the cap is the relationship that we have with Revive. Revive Health is phenomenal. Those 5 pillars of care, we are the exclusive SIMERP provider with Revive. Exclusivity. We've got a leg up right there over everybody else. It's phenomenal. Revive has over 4 million members. They're established. It's a great resource that way. And then again, some of the major cities and states are partnering with us, guys. And that's another feather in our cap. But here's what I'm going to say. I want you guys to listen carefully to this. If you're getting excited about booking a school or a city or a state, and you don't have a warm market in, guys, it's a hard, long, drawn-out process. It's very difficult to crack those nuts. I don't want to discourage you, but I want you guys to think about all of the smaller businesses with 50 to 200 employees. Those are employees where the owner oftentimes is in the trenches working it. And he is the dictator, or she. They are the dictator. They are the decision maker. You're going to get a lot further, a lot faster with a lot of those businesses. The majority of calls where I have an employer say, yep, let's upload the census, let's get moving on this, and the census comes 2 days later, those are usually from 250 or fewer employees, businesses that have 250 or fewer employees. There's no committee. There's no discussion. There's no protocol that they have to follow in order to implement a new program. So I want you guys to think about the 50 to 250 employee headcount. If you want to have fun with this program, book a discovery call a day with 50 to 250 employee headcount, and we're going to see censuses pouring in real time. Not a year later, not 6 months down the road, not after 7 discovery calls with their attorneys, with their broker, their benefits broker, all of those types of things. We're still getting those big deals across the board, guys. But if you want to have some fun with this, book those calls. You're going to see censuses flying in. We're going to knock it out of the park together. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Is there somewhere we can find information about number of doctors and pharmacies in a state or region where a client is considering EHP? I don't know if, Rick, if you're referring to the EHP doctors, but EHP has physicians in every region. And the physicians are required to have at least 10 years of experience. These are not college grads. And I think I heard somewhere, don't quote me on this, guys, but I think I heard that the average salary for the EHP full-time physicians is in the $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year range. And they're in every region. So they're relatively localized, but I don't know the number. When someone logs into EHP, they'll have a choice of physicians they can choose from as a primary care physician, and they can read the bios and the backgrounds of the physician, and they can select that person. All right. Let's see here. Hi, Mike. 2 questions. What are some good opening lines when calling on semi-cold prospects? How can we collaborate with others that are also doing this to learn some best practices? Collaboration with others, guys, I think is calls like this, listening. Don't miss these calls and all the other calls. I know Sean puts on a lot of different training resources, and you get to hear success stories from a lot of people as well that are part of this. And just don't miss them. If they're recorded, watch them. Spend the time and be a sponge. Listen for nuggets. You're going to listen to me monologue for 40 minutes, but hopefully you got 2 or 3 nuggets. If you did, it's worth it. But it's time. It's an investment of time. Opening lines. Hi, Susie. My name is Mike Culver. I was referred to you by so-and-so, or we have a mutual contact named so-and-so, or my name is Mike Culver, and I help businesses like yours save some money by offering some additional medical health and wellness benefits on top of the benefits you're providing. And we help companies like yours save anywhere from $640 per employee per year to several thousand. Would you be opposed to learning about creative ways that can help your bottom line? I mean, I'm just winging it here, guys, but this is what I want you to do. Write down 10 different opening pitches, try them out, see which one works, do the numbers, figure out. There's no foo-foo dust. There's really, I mean, there's you're going to sharpen your iron sharpens iron. You're going to sharpen your sword, your pencil, whatever you want to call it, but you're going to learn through doing, and you're going to figure out what works best with your personality as well. Some people can get away with charm. Personality is not duplicatable, though. Systems are. So we want to systemize things as best as we can and duplicate what works for you. Can you put that in the chat? I can't type and talk at the same time. Let's see here. Yesterday you mentioned the Revive PCP can order pretty much everything, including a physical. Since it is a virtual connection, how does the patient actually get the physical? Good question. Yeah, these Revive physicians, guys, they're doctors. They can do everything your primary care physician can do as well. The only difference is that they outsource. When they order blood work or they order a physical, they'll ask, what insurance do you have? What's your network? And they'll send that work order to the clinic in your network. So, but then the blood work can be sent back to them for review. So again, this is why it sits on top of primary care insurance. So they can say, yeah, you got a bad knee, I'll write a referral to a specialist in your network. And then they'll be able to get a copy of whatever the results are from that specialist, and we can have consultations. I can ask for their advice, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that answers. When will the pitch deck be updated in the portal? It's no longer available. I do not know the answer to that. I apologize. Sherry. Harold James. How does one use Revive EHP as their primary care physician without making a physical appearance? Okay, I think we just covered that. Again, you don't have to utilize them you don't have to select a Revive primary care physician, but you can. And then again, just like what we talked about. I'm confused. I don't see the 149 on the paycheck example. Yeah, John, I didn't include it. But if we look at a real paycheck, let me see. Do I have one opened up here? Let's see if I can just open one up here really quick. Let me go to my files, and here, I'll pull this off so you guys don't have to see all my other files here. And let's go to EHP, and let me go to my corporate docs and my pay stub examples. Here we go. Boom. We're going to pull up a pay stub example. All right, this is a bi-weekly, I believe this is a bi-weekly pay stub example. Let's zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see Thatch Medical, $328. That's a Section 125 pre-tax deduction, their medical insurance. Then you're going to see our SIMERP program, $1,220 on a bi-weekly basis. $1,220 credit is $563 per pay period. Then you're going to see post-tax deductions. The cost of Revive, which would be roughly $70 per paycheck, plus any supplemental benefits that they opted into. We can offer additional supplemental benefits, guys, as well. If they're already offering, which a lot of employers are already offering supplemental benefits, we don't even present that, but we can. And employees can use their tax savings to pay for these. Life insurance, disability, et cetera, et cetera. Payroll, let me get back to the rocket scientist. So that would be the cost of Revive plus any additional supplemental benefits. Then we scroll down here to reimbursements and health reimbursement under WIMPR. Wellness Integrated Medical Plan Expense Reimbursement, WIMPR. SIMERP, Self-Insured Medical Expense Reimbursement Program. What's the difference? We add another code for wellness. Section 106 makes it a wellness integrated. Section 213D makes it medical. We have both. We are both. So WIMPR and SIMERP. 563 credited back, and then the paycheck comes in there. So on my example, guys, my slide deck here, I don't have that as the 149 cost to Revive there. but it does show up on the proposal as well here. Let me get to the right. Yeah, I don't have it here, so I just add it. I could have typed it in there. But then on the proposal, it's here, 149 across the board. All right. We've got, oh my gosh, we got 2 minutes here, guys. Holy buckets, a lot of you have stayed on the call. Will this specific session be available in the back office? I believe it will. Which IRS codes authorizes the SIMERP reimbursement? Mary, all of these. These are all integrated and utilized here. So we utilize all of these codes to satisfy the SIMERP reimbursement codes. So that's a simple explanation, but you don't need to know that, Mary. Honestly, I don't think it's that crucial. The discovery call will go through it as well, and then they can do their due diligence as well. But guys, there's not been one instance of an IRS clawback of a SIMERP, to our knowledge. I just got an email from my employer, one of the co-founders of the company. I just got an email from him earlier today, and we challenge any attorney to do research and find an IRS clawback of a SIMERP that's not a fixed indemnity program tied to a fixed indemnity. So, you know, guys, again, people are scared. There's a lot of negative articles out there and misinformation. That's the challenge we're going to have. When that all goes away, guys, we're going to have a million copycat companies that start up. So pick your heart. It's going to be as pitching this and signing up businesses gets easier for us, it's going to get easier for everybody else to offer it as well. And there's going to be more competition. So as it gets easier, it's going to get harder. Pick your heart. You know, just book the calls, book the curiosity, go through the numbers. And if they don't do it now, keep them in your Eagle file. I call it an Eagle file. I was taught by a mentor that calls it an Eagle file. Keep them in your tickler list. No means not now. It could be bad timing. A year from now, they're going to see a bunch of YouTube videos. They're going to get, I had a guy who said, I got 5 emails a week from people pitching a program like this now. They're already out there, guys. So as more and more people pitch this, it's going to become more and more legitimized in the eyes of these naysayers. And they're going to take a look because more and more people are doing it. So just pick your heart. How do you approach identifying the pain of the employer? Great question, Andy. You have to have a conversation and listen. You know, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen, and ask pointed questions. How's it going, Joe? Hey, Joe, let me ask you something. Are you happy with the benefits you're currently providing your employees? Are your employees happy with the benefits you're providing them? Are you struggling to walk that fine line between increasing premiums on your employees' benefits and eating the cost yourself, and it's affecting your bottom line? How is that impacting your business? What adjustments are you having to make? All of these types of questions are things that you guys can utilize here. All right. I'm going to wrap this up here. We're not able to get to everybody's questions, I know, guys, but I hope we were able to get through a lot of this here. Sorry, I've been Big Mike. Hey, John, good to see you. Keep plugging away. All right. Is that 1,300 an actual instant savings, or is that number what they can negotiate each year with their healthcare provider? The 1,300 that I use as an example, it's just an estimate, Robert. We cannot quantify what each ahead of time what each business is going to save through the redirection of healthcare. It's just that our average clients realize a 10 to 30% reduction in out-of-pocket expenditures on medical health and on their health insurance when they're self and level funded. 10 to 30%, guys. I use the 10% number. I'd rather overpromise and I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. I got used to say I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. Thank God I caught that. Then say you're going to save 30, 40, 50%. You know, we don't want to do that, guys. But the reason why a business wants to do this is to offer additional benefits to their employees and save some money on taxes. And an ancillary net effect of that is that they may see a reduction in their out-of-pocket costs through the redirection of care. And there's also a workman's comp. Oftentimes they might see savings in that as well. But those are not the key pitches. The key pitch is additional benefits at no net cost and a FICA savings of 640. And if you are level or self-funded, you might see a redirection of care of 10. You might see upwards of 10, 20% savings that way as well. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Looks like a lot of highs there. Good. Guys, I know that we're running out of time here. I think we're going to wrap it up. I don't see any additional real key questions here. I'm hoping that this call was valuable. I hope you guys got some nuggets. If you haven't booked a discovery call yet, let's do that. Let's go ahead, make a commitment. Make a commitment to reach out and just build that curiosity, edify and promote the discovery call. If I could share with you, or if I could introduce you to a program that helps your employees RRR, focus on the R's, recruit, retain, reward, revenues, reduce costs, those types of R's, focus on those. Would you be opposed, or would you be open to learning more about the program? I like Would You Be Opposed? The Full Fee Agent and Never Split the Difference. Those are two books you want to read if you want to learn about negotiating and framing questions that way. But if I would you, and then great, and then you're going to want to book that discovery call, guys. You want to get on the call. You want to get on the call calendar. You want to book that call for them. Stay on the line. When you book a discovery call, you want to stay on the line, and you're going to book it for them. Let me get to the discovery call calendar. You're going to hit submit. You're going to add yourself, and then and you're going to be on that call as well. And you're going to stay on the line until they get the email, and you're going to have them confirm the invitation right then and there before you hang up the phone. There's nothing worse than no one showing up to our discovery calls. That's an hour's time lost. We book 30-minute discovery calls with the buffer. So that's an hour's worth of time lost. And time is the most valuable asset that all of us have. You can't get it back. So make sure that you're calling and confirming. Make sure that they've got the link. Make sure you're reminding them to get as many decision makers on the call as possible. And you guys are going to knock it out of the park. A lot of you already are. Very, very happy. If you want to learn about compensation, talk to the person who referred you into this. Guys, it's unbelievable. Per employee, per month. Life-altering opportunity before you. Go get them. I'm rooting for each and every one of you. And our discovery call team, Cole, Keith, Guy, Will, they're all phenomenal guys. They all want you to win. We all want you to win. We want to win with you. So let's go kick some ass this week. We'll hopefully see you next week or in the days to come. But go get them, guys. Thanks so much.